Hello, and welcome to Badger Talks Quick Picks, which brings exciting happenings, resources, and talent from your UW flagship campus to the people of Wisconsin and beyond. I'm Tracy Chenoweth from Cottage Grove, Wisconsin. I serve as our Director of Camp Administration and Youth Protection in the Athletic Department at the University of Wisconsin. I'm pleased this morning to introduce Jackie Davenport, Associate Athletic Director for Student Services and Director of Badger Built. Today, Jackie will speak on Badger Built, which is a student athlete personal development program which prepares our student athletes to win now and beyond. Whether student athletes want to play professionally or run a boardroom, this program develops champions both on and off the field and helps them reach their peak performance in all aspects of life. Jackie oversees our student athletes' personal development at Wisconsin Athletics and directs the Badger Built program to prepare student athletes to win now and beyond. She's been in college athletics for the past 15 years with extensive experiences leading large-scale projects and initiatives for athletics, including the department's 50th anniversary celebration of Title IX, the Badgers Give Back Community Outreach Program, as well as our department's creative team. Please welcome Jackie Davenport.
Thanks, Tracy. I'm excited to talk to you all today about our Badger Built program, the way that we prepare our student athletes to win now and beyond. The challenges of being a student athlete can be overwhelming, and specifically playing at Wisconsin Athletics. If you look at just the challenges of being a college student, there's a lot of pressure that goes into just being a college student and trying to perform in the classroom, and now imagine layering onto that also performing on the field as well. So we have a team of people here at Wisconsin Athletics that support our student athletes, that help them prepare in their personal development. That is our Badger Built team. So today I'm going to talk about what Badger Built is and the way that we help prepare student athletes to win now and beyond. So what is Badger Built? Badger Built is our comprehensive approach to student athlete personal development. We really look at the life cycle of a student athlete before their time at Wisconsin, during their time, and after their time at Wisconsin Athletics. Whether it's they want to go professional in sports or they're looking to run a boardroom, we really leverage the expertise and support of our staff, our student athletes, our alum, our campus and community partners to help them to reach their ultimate goals, no matter what that is. We really focused in Badger Built, and the language of built really talks about building a house. And so when we think about built and building a house, the basic level of that is the foundation. And so the foundations of our Badger Built program are peak performance, which really focuses on the student athlete's personal best, exploration, which looks at exploring themselves and others, and then community, really creating that connection for them. That we say that no matter what's happening in the world around us, our foundation is solid and doesn't change at all. Then you look at the next element of a house, and that really looks at the walls of the house. And that's what we call our framework within our Badger Built program. So in peak performance, the walls of that house are mental health, looking at how our student athletes in their personal best really need to be right in their mind before they can play or perform in the classroom. Looking at their physical performance, looking at how we are supporting them in learning support, their financial literacy, and then academic advising and eligibility. We move over onto the foundation of exploration, and the focus of that being exploring themselves and others. In that, we are rooting ourselves, and we believe that once you can see who I am and I can explore others as well, I can see the world at a better viewpoint. And so that really looks at our foundations of common ground, which is embedding our D&I philosophy across our entire athletic department. We're looking at their NIL and their brand identity, how we're developing them as leaders, how we're developing them professionally, whether they want to go play pro sports or they want to go into the boardroom, and what that looks like to have healthy relationships as well. And then we truly believe that creating community connection and belonging, people want to feel seen and heard while they're here. And so we try to do a great job of building a community of support around our student athletes. And we do that through shared experiences, through community service, through mentorship, through professional networks, and through our community groups as well. The lens of this and the basis of this is that it's an individualized approach for our student athlete experience. It's individualized for their needs. You think about it right now, what we talk about often is right now, if you were to turn on a show on however you want to watch it, let's say you're watching the Olympics right now, and you turn it on, you can watch it when you want to watch it, where you want to watch it, and you can watch what you want to watch. So you could have recorded it. You could be watching, maybe you're really into volleyball and you want to watch beach volleyball. You could record all the beach volleyball and watch them on your iPad at 7 in the morning. Or you could watch archery at 10 o'clock at night on your TV in your bedroom. And so our student athletes are being able to customize their entire life and watch and complete things on their own. And so that's the world that we feel like we want to provide for them as well. And so the way that we do that is through their Badger Built Blueprint. So in a house, you need a blueprint in order to map out what your house looks like. And so we have developed out a Badger Built Blueprint, which is an individualized development plan that's customized by the student athlete to prepare them to win now and beyond. So based off of where their goals and aspirations are, we help them to get to what that looks like for them based off of their blueprint. The great elements of the blueprint are that they're personalized. It's uniquely crafted for the student athlete, by the student athlete, aligning with their goals, their needs, and their aspirations. We offer these things in non-championship seasons. So while they're focused on being a student and being an athlete and they're competing, we are going to let them focus on those things and help support them in those areas. And then when they want to develop in other areas, whether that's financial literacy, whether that's their career growth, we're going to offer those opportunities for them in their non-championship seasons. We know now that students and all of us are built into a digital age. And based on that digital age, we want to give them resources that are accessible at their fingertips. A lot of times we hear that students are getting information, whether it be news or it's their friends or their social circles on social media. So we're providing them access to curated resources at the tip of their finger. We also provide them continuing guidance in this. So they may come in and think, hey, I want to go pro. And then maybe in their junior, they're like, you know what, I probably should maybe think about doing something else after. That may change the way that they want to either pursue their academic support and their career support. And so we are going to have someone who's going to walk them through that journey called their blueprint manager. And they're going to walk them through each step of the way to help them get to where they want to be. It truly is customized to them. So it's their journey and it's their way. Some of the support that we provide to them and something that we've identified as key is transition support. So we think about how student athletes transition into college. And that transition support looks like we develop them in academic skill building, their healthy relationships, what it looks like when they step onto campus and how to have healthy relationships, how to communicate well. We also talk to them about money management. So when you come in, like when money comes in and when money goes out, what it looks like to support you if you want to live off of campus. Your first year, you're living maybe on campus and in dorms. And what does your money look like when you need to transition and live off campus? We talk about how to prepare your mind, whether that's mental health and keeping your mind right. And there's skills that we build up in that. So that could be through meditation. We also talk about the importance of fueling yourself. So in high school, you may have fueled yourself one way, but when you come into college, now there's going to be a different expectation in that space. And so how do you fuel yourself and prepare yourself pre, during, and post your workouts? And then honing in on identifying who they are, their core values, and how they can leverage that and brand themselves while they're here at Wisconsin. The picture here in this slide really actually shows a most recent experience that we had that is during SOAR program. So all students go through SOAR. Our transition support for our student athletes in SOAR is we also welcome them into our spaces, show them around, but we believe that it takes a village to raise student athletes and it takes a village and for all of us to be successful here. And so we invited parents in that experience as well. And what we do is we create an opportunity for parents, support staff, and the student athletes and coaches to really build a connection to each other so that they feel like they're supported in their first steps before they even get on campus, and they know all the resources available to them. We also then look at how transitioning out of Wisconsin athletics looks like and how the transition out of sport is different for each individual. What does physical wellness look like post athletics and how can we help support our student athletes in that? We also look at their identity outside of sports. A lot of times athletes have an identity that's tied to who they are and how they play. And so as they transition out, it's been identified that that's a big obstacle for student athletes. And so we help them identify and go through that core values exercise again. And who am I outside of my sport and what value do I bring and where do I want to be in the future moving forward? We also talk about building a community and connection with them. When they are in athletics and they are here and they're on their team, a lot of their community and connection is built here. We then connect them to other community wherever they want to be, whether they're staying in Wisconsin, whether they're staying in Madison or they're going nationwide. And that really leans into the support of our alumni relations and our network, and how do we help them build connection when they're no longer built into a system that automatically does that for them. And then we talk about and transition them out with a growth mindset. The idea of continuing to help them think about how they're developing and how they want to continue to be lifelong learners. So while they're here, one of the ways that we support them is in their academics. We provide guidance on the admission process. That can be a scary thing, especially for any student. But in athletics, there's additional challenges with eligibility from the NCAA. We support them in their meetings, whether that's course planning and monitoring their eligibility. We help them explore their majors. We help them with graduation planning. And then because their time is consumed a lot, we also help them in tutoring and mentoring. So how are we helping them build up the skills that they need in order to be successful while they're here as well? One of the lenses that we look at is financial literacy throughout their entire journey here. So we want to equip our student athletes for financial decisions, whether we talked about like in transition support, whether it's money in, or maybe it's a little bit later on in their career here at Wisconsin. And then we talk about like, what does financial growth look like and how do you invest the money? What are taxes and how do I manage that and how do I file for those and what does that look like? Insurance, benefits and retirement, a lot of time that happens in the transition out. Like what insurance should I sign up for? What does health insurance look like? We also have student athletes that are looking at like car insurance and the benefits of car insurance and what does that mean and how do I get that and how that all plays into their financial literacy and their decision making moving forward. The great thing is that we have an awesome group of alumni. So the picture here is of Alec Ingold. Alec Ingold is a former student athlete, hosts a money camp, plays professionally in the NFL, but comes back to Madison and wants to give back. And he felt like his journey here, based off of the development that he had, he wants to continue to pour back into the community and pour back into our student athletes. So he came and hosted a financial literacy boot camp for our student athletes. We also look at leadership development. We want to empower our student athletes to identify and leverage their unique assets to embrace a growth mindset and recognize their ability to lead regardless of their defined leadership positions. There's different opportunities for our student athletes while they're here, whether that's our Student Athlete Advisory Committee, where they lead out and are the student voice for Wisconsin athletics. We have a Leadership Institute that develops up our student athletes. It's a multi-week course that looks at how my values can play into my leadership style in a sport. We also have a leadership retreat that's a weekend-long experience for our student athletes to gain some of the valuable skills of leadership and how I can apply that directly into my sport or in the classroom. We have an inclusive leadership that we are leveraging to embed our DEI philosophy at the start of our student athletes' career here at Wisconsin. So we really lean into this to have our student athletes understand the importance of embracing diverse perspectives, practicing inclusive behaviors, and learning how to engage in dialogue and experiences that challenge and expand their ideas and beliefs. We lean into career and professional development. In their first couple of years, they're trying to understand what courses they take, what majors they want to do, but then the conversation always pulls into, well, I'm going to major in this because I want to go do X in the future. And so whatever X is, we want to prepare them for what that looks like. So that could be career exploration, whether that's in the professional sports lens. And we found that a lot of our student athletes are maybe interested in, they want to do apparel design, or I want to do real estate, or I want to do entrepreneurship, or I want to go play pro sports. And what does that look like? We also look at more traditional career paths and offer site visits to whether it's locally to Exact Sciences, or when our student athletes are traveling on the road to other spots so that they can expose them in those spaces. We talk about how the power of the network is really what's going to help our student athletes leverage their professional careers moving forward, whether that's in pro sports or traditional careers. We help them to build up skills. We know that students right now in general, the generation, they're on their phone, and sometimes talking to people is a skill that we feel like we need to develop up in them, and how to network. So we develop up the skill of networking and connecting with others, and then we provide opportunities for them to do that. Whether that's with our alum or that's business leaders, we provide those connections for them to start to build up their network so that when they transition out, they feel supported in that transition, and they have a group of people in a network that will help them get to where they want to be in the future. NIL and brand identity is a hot thing. You probably heard it in the press more recently. So NIL is the name, image, and likeness. And that's really the true lens of NIL, is to empower our student athletes to leverage the value of their name, image, and likeness. We look at what does it mean to have their personal branding, and what is my personal brand, and how can I use that moving forward, whether that be in the classroom, whether that be in the community, whether that be in leveraging it to potentially make money in the future. We help them craft pitches. We have a fun engagement opportunity where they are they're in a shark tank and they are pitching out who they are to a group of sharks. We provide networking opportunities. There is media and interview training. How do they influence their peers? How do they influence others? There's talks about how do you use your name, image, likeness to start different businesses, whether that be they want to do camps in the future, or they want to do apparel and t-shirt design and they want to go and leverage and sell that, or maybe they want to be artists and they want to create their own business to do that as well. And then we also partner with the law clinic here and bring them in to help them provide legal counsel if they're signing contracts. Part of another lens that we look at is we felt the connection is really important. And so what we do is we have 3 different community groups that really bring student athletes together and allies who share common interests, identities, and experiences to serve as a platform for that community and connection for our student athletes. So the 3 groups that we have currently at Wisconsin Athletics is our Minority Student Athlete Union. They connect also with the Black Student Union on campus. We also have our Badgers Beyond Borders, which is our international student athletes, and our Badger Pride group, which is our LGBTQ plus group. We have our Badgers Give Back platform, which is our community service platform for our student athletes that utilizes the unifying power of sport to uplift the community through mutually beneficial service opportunities. Those are really centered around basic needs, whether that be food, housing, shelter, literacy, and inclusive and equitable environments. And then our final lens of community and connection is our shared experiences. So these shared experiences are really creating community and connection and a sense of belonging across all of Wisconsin athletics. We try to bring together our student athletes across sports, but also all of our staff across all of our sports, because we truly are one big family here at Wisconsin Athletics, and our differentiator are our people. And so we do this through our Big Ten Life series. We have an annual award show at the end of the year that is our Buckinghams. We have a kickoff every year, which is our Fall Frenzy, where we bring all people together to celebrate the start of the fall. We celebrate homecoming together, and then we have block parties as well. And then the culmination of this is all that pours into our alumni relations. And really what our alumni relations is engaging and connecting our former student athletes together to keep them involved and supporting them after their time here at Wisconsin Athletics. So that could be networking and career support, whether that be for them as alum or bringing them back to help support our current student athletes. It also is travel engagement. So when our teams are traveling to specific areas, whether that be to California or that be to the Twin Cities, or they're traveling to other spaces around the nation, that we are pulling together our alum in that area to help bring and support our current student athletes and create connection for them while they're there. We have celebrations like homecoming, and then to lean into the support of our alumni, we have a case manager. So whether you're 0 to 5 years out, you're 5 to 10 years out, or you're 10 to 15 years out or plus, we have someone who's intentionally reaching out to you and asking you, how are things going? How can we support you? And how do we bring you back into our network as well? And then we have the W Club board, which helps lead out our alumni relations efforts moving forward. This picture here on this slide is our Badger athlete alumni supporting kids. It's our BASS group, which looks at community service and how to leverage community service as a former student athlete to give back still to the community as well. So that truly is how we support our student athletes to prepare them to win now and beyond. Thank you for your time today.